Hey there, gamers. Welcome back to Banished Souls Cryptic Gaming here. We are playing New World Aeternum. So, want to go over some things. If you're thinking about building a new character, if you're in our Discord or wanting to join into gameplay with myself and some of our Discord guys, we'll go over a few things that you're going to need to know. So, first thing, we're playing on the US East Coast server. Yes, it's important that you know that. You can create 4 characters within a server. And within that server are different worlds. So one, you got to make sure when you create your character, you're in the East Coast server if you're going to play with us. Then you're going to come to worlds and you're going to go to Pangea is the home world that I use mostly. So that's typically where I'm at. But you can switch your worlds and stuff like that in here as well. But we're on Pangea is where we're currently playing. So when we go into play, once you have all that set up, let's bring this into the play mode, and we'll go over a few things in the game as well. This could be rather confusing to people who are new to the MMORPG type of gaming. It can be confusing to people who have played it quite a bit because some of the information that they give you is just not really out there. So when you're looking at those types of plants, you have to be certain levels to harvest certain plants. Plants that you can harvest don't always count toward gathering either. So okay, here's what we're going to look at now. Yes, this is my character right now. We're using a mage. I am going to bring up our character list. Okay, so in your character list, you're going to be able to do things such as your bio, which is where I'm not into pronouns, but apparently you can change pronouns. You can change your title based off of things that you open up while you're playing the game. And then once you join a company, you can be in a faction. You can be part of a company and all that. And that comes later in the game. So I am a level 21. I've just now got my mount at level 20. And at level 21, they said I can join a faction. I've not yet joined one. I'm kind of waiting to see what faction really I've kind of fit in. So make the decision wisely, because once you're in a faction, my understanding is you only play with that faction. So make sure you talk to your friends, see what you're going to be in. So that's something we're going to be discussing in Discord tonight, is seeing who is wanting to be in what faction. Me personally, honestly, I don't really care. I'm fine with whichever. So then, of course, we have our attributes. These are the basic points that you have. You get these points available as you level up. You have, for like intelligence, that's what I'm working on right now, mainly because I'm using a fire staff. I love this fire staff. We're going to show you why here in a minute. So this is one of the things where you want to make sure that you have damage scales with the intelligence when you're doing your fire staff. So we have to bring it up. Then of course constitution, that's going to have to do with your health. I'm trying to bring that up as we go a little bit too. Now, as you can see, with our armors and things that we have, that's located in the blue line. And then, of course, in here, if you get things that are going to really help boost your intelligence, such as jewelry and stuff like that, you can help boost that in with the blue line on top of the gold. The gold's what you're adding to. The blue is what you're getting with the stuff that you've got put on your guys. So, of course, you have weapons mastery as well. So, I've been focusing right now on fire staff and ice gauntlet. I'm not completely sold on the ice gauntlet. I've not decided the way I want to go. I may end up going with a spear. I haven't decided yet. Or some sort of a sword and shield. I kind of want something for up close. I wasn't a big fan of the blunderbuss. So for those of you who think, well, maybe that blunderbuss would be good for close range, I used it in the beta. I've received quite a few of them in gifts, completing stuff. I just haven't been real happy with them, so I didn't see spending any points on that. Like I say, I think the spear, I just opened up a spear with a mission I did last night, so I may try that spear out because it looked like it may be pretty good. Okay, so here's all of our different crafting stuff. So we got weaponsmithing, we have armoring, engineering. We haven't gotten anything with engineering yet because we have to engineer stuff. So we need to build the flint logging axe. We have that unlocked already. Whenever we're building our different types of stuff. So there's your flints, and then of course you're going to get your iron, where you got to come in and build these different types of hatchets and axes and stuff like that. So there's quite a bit of stuff you can build. Blunderbusses, treated wood bows. These are things that are going to give you at the forge. You're going to go to the forge or a workshop, and that's going to help build that engineer skill up. if you're wondering where to do that at. So we're going to come back over here to this. Any one of these things, if you're trying to figure out, well, how do I bring that up? It's like furnishing. You would go to furnishing, and then how do you do that? Well, you're going to have to build those things to the right, so you're going to need to buy a home to store that stuff. Then you're going to go to the workshop and build things, and that's going to help get your furnishing up as you build furnitures and stuff like that. And that's true of any of these. So like gathering, if you're in like leatherworking, it'll tell you what to do. So you got to go to the tannery. So, but first you got to go kill the animal, get the skin so you can work it and all that kind of stuff. So that'll be under like hunting. Let's see if they got hunting up here. That used to be one that was in here as well. So fishing's one. So you got fishing. The best way to bring that up is to go fishing. You want to go to these areas here. There's a lot of spots you can go to. So definitely just spend some time fishing. I may do some of that today just to open up some of those locations and stuff. Mining, same thing. You're going to be going around mining, so you got to have your pickaxe to go around and mine anything and everything you can get. So we've been doing iron. I've been doing some silver. We've been doing some gold also, even some of this alchemy stone. And I haven't found any oil yet, but I have been finding gold, quite a bit of gold here lately. So that's a nice one to have in there. And you want to get those levels up. So like logging and mining, get it to at least 50, but 100 to 150 is really so anything you find you can open up. So you can get to 50, that's going to carry you to about level 20, and then you're going to start getting into new areas. So you really need to bolster that up to about 100 or 150 as well. So smelting, that's coming from melting down. You can use charcoal, which is any kind of green wood. You take it to the forge and you just burn it up and turn it into charcoal. That helps build your smelting abilities up very fast. I do recommend doing that. Then silver ingots, iron ingots, obsidian flux. There's a lot of different things that you can work on while you're in there. And of course, gold ingots. We need to start working on some of that here as well. Getting some of that stuff smelted down. Stone cutting, same thing. You're going to get that at the stone cutting table. And the best way to get the stone cutting table materials is to go mining and just bust them rocks and stuff. That's going to increase your mining ability. Whether it's stone or metal or whatever, you got to be using that stuff. That's going to get it up. Harvesting. So these are some things that you can harvest right now. So farm plants. You can harvest this fungi. You can harvest this hemp stuff. There's also a type of herb that you can do, but I'm not seeing the herbs up here. They pretty much look like this farm plant here. So you just got to take and find this stuff, because it'll say that it's gathered at, and it just says 0. It doesn't really tell you where it's gathered at, but you're going to find it as you go. Just walking around, I've been to every farm in the area. I don't find stuff growing in the farms. This is found usually in the woods near water sources. The hemp's usually big purple flowers. This fungi usually has a big purple flower with tendrils kind of swaying with glittery looking stuff floating around it. You just find it out walking around, man. That's just how you find it. There's no real good place to get it. So I hope that kind of explains some of that to you. We're going to come back and show you here. So when you've got social, you need to find, this wasn't working yesterday, so you have to be in the same server. So I think is what our issue was last night. We was looking for each other, and we ended up finding out we had guys at some West Coast servers and other servers, and it was just all mixed up. My understanding is you can switch worlds, but you can't switch servers. Worlds are basically, a server within that time zone. So you should be able to do that. But you'll type your friend's name in here, and you should be able to find them in here. Let's do that real quick. I'm going to see if I can find our guild admiral. And I'm unsure if they have to be online or not. Like I say, this is all kind of new to me on here. Okay. They may have to be online. He's at work, so we'll just have to wait and see. So we've tried typing in PlayStation gamer tag names, Xbox gamer tag names, PC gamer tag names. Then we've also come in and typed in character names, and I don't know if that's just not up yet. I think if we get in the same world, we can find each other and add each other that way. The list doesn't seem to be working at the moment. Then, of course, there's companies. You can join up different companies, and that's where you're going to do these factions, territory wars, and other things. I'm not anywhere near high enough level for any of that right now. So right now we see you got the CWA. They seem to be getting most of everything right now. The reason I say that is I see that emblem on all the villages right now. But I think that's just because people are joining it. I'm not sure. So we'll probably end up creating our own once we figure out how all that stuff works. And as you can see, some of these are pretty been around a while. Okay, then in the journal you have where you can find your main stories, faction stories, season stories, skill progression. However, I do like how it breaks it down. For those of you who play with this on Skull and Bones, this is one of the things I would love to see something like this set up, but with the territories, your manufactories, where it has a list of names and you go through the names in alphabetical order and it takes you to it. That would be awesome. I'd love to see them do that with the game. So they've definitely got that right in here. Then you have these documents that shows you where you found how many documents for each world zone. So you want to focus on getting some of that. Those are some pretty cool things. Then of course your tutorials. It shows you all the different tutorials. If you want to check different roles, soul trials. I mean, they got all sorts of stuff in here. How to build your characters, combat attributes, combat status effects, damage and enemy types. I mean, it's just so much stuff to go through. So you get your horses. You get this first horse first. The Moon Shadow, that one's free to you once you hit rank 20. If you did the pre-order like we did, we get the Dire Wolf. So this is the Azoth Stalker. There's some pretty cool stuff. There really is. I'm not even gonna lie, man. There's some pretty cool stuff in here. Okay, we went over that aspect of things there. Let's go to the PvP. So this is PvP reward track. It would track what we're doing in PvP if we had done anything right now. Azoth Salt, PvP XP. We're not running anything right now, so obviously there's nothing to report on it. This one here kind of shows you what you've completed here. This is your completed list. Then you have PvE, PvP, quests, faction missions. As you pick a faction, you'll have 185 missions per faction, it looks like. So quite a bit of stuff here that we haven't got done yet. So like I said, there's still plenty of stuff for us to do before we got to worry about getting into that faction. But we may end up joining one here before too long. So yeah, so there's that gold turkey looking emblem. Like I say, they own pretty much all the towns that I've been seeing around here. Okay, these are activities. It shows expeditions. Mutated expeditions that you can do, raids that you can run, PvP or 3 versus 3 arenas, outpost rush, elite trials, season trials, and soul trials. So quite a bit of things you can jump into. Now understand most of these require this one here is rank 25, this one here is rank 65. That one there, you can do it with just 10 players. You can jump in with groups of 10, which would be awesome. Now later on, there's going to be groups of 20 that you can run wars and things with. So then, of course, rank 65. This in here, you can have a minimum of 6 players, so season trials. I would love to be able to get some of the groups together to run these. We'll probably be working on that tonight. Here's minimum of 12, so the elite trials is probably where you need the 20 guys. But even that 10-person raid looks like it might be pretty cool. So this is the outpost rush. This is where you go and you take outposts from other players and stuff. But like I say, we're not ready for that. Then, of course, to have a store like any other game, there is a store to have bundles you can pick up, which you'll have, all sorts of stuff, whether it's gear. There's going to have where you can do a character transfer. That's supposed to be bring it from one server to another. That's not being activated yet. So like I said, make sure you pick that right server. And then you have all these different types of weapon skins, apparel skins, mounts you can choose from. I mean, there's just so much stuff in here. Consumables, emotes, camp skins, tool skins, housing items, mount attachments, company credits, crests. So you're going to open those once you get into crests and companies and stuff, be able to get those types of materials. So, and then of course your settings. We'll go over some of our settings here. So if you're stuck and you're like hung up, you can go into your settings and hit unstuck. And what it's going to do is it's going to refresh you out of the area over into the open field closest to you and open area closest to you. So definitely use that if you get stuck in a location like you're stuck to a wall or stuck to a rock or something like that. Be sure to use that unstuck button there, guys. That's the best way to do it. You can hit recall to end. That'll be the last end that you check in at. Every town that's not invaded by the undead, you can recall to the inn, but only one inn is active at a time. You have to check in. Okay, submit feedback. If you're having issues, you can do that. Help, newsletters, announcements, compensations, exits. Then, of course, your settings. Now, there's a lot of variety stuff you can do with your settings in here. When it comes to your videos, what I do recommend is I don't cap my FPS. Field of view, I've got it set on about 70. It seems to have the right distance for my character. Now, we could go higher if we wanted to, but it looks like 70 is the max for it. So, brightness is fine. Contrast seems okay. Mode, go with quality or performance. So, I'm going with quality. I've not had any issues with any kind of stuff. But that is the basics of this game. So if you're sitting here and you're like, okay, well, I'm level 20. I've got my mount. I don't know what to do because I can't seem to bring it up. Well, if you press right on the D-pad, when I say press, I mean just tap. It will spawn directly under you. Now, you can be running whatever you want to do with it. You can run and stuff. But there is our wolf mount, guys. Now, when you get your mount, they're going to have to go and talk to the guy that gives the mounts. Then he has you run a race and all this other kind of mess. Then he gives you the resources to make some kind of a mucky food that you feed. It's supposed to be for a horse, but you feed it to your wolf also. Okay, so this is the basic trot. Now, once you start to build your abilities up, you get new stuff where you can come in, do a mad dash. And you can actually charge in this mode and just run into enemies and it kills them instantly. I do recommend that. But even at a normal gallop, you're going faster than most people are running. So we're right outside of this area here. I've kind of reached a point where I'm waiting for a few of our members to catch up in rank because they had to start. I went and started a new character after we found out we were in the wrong servers and all. See if we can catch up to that doe. Mister. Yeah, well. Okay, so we're going to focus on doing some logging and some more mining because I want to get those up to 100, 150 before I go back out on my next big quest. And that's kind of where we're at right now. So I hope this kind of gives you some ideas of what to do in this game, guys. Sorry I got tracked in on wanting to get that doe, but sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. It always has to do with what type of weapon you're using. That is the fire staff, by the way, that causes that effect. Then, of course, you got this flamethrower. And then you have a firewall that spreads out from you and knocks the enemies back. I do recommend using that. Like I say, so far, the fire staff is definitely my favorite. This is something new that I've opened up here. All right, so we're gonna hop off here, guys. Have a wonderful day.